right, live from Xponential 2025 inside Unmanned Systems, here with Gad Shaanan, CEO, Unmanned Aerospace. Would you like to kind of introduce Unmanned Aerospace and talk about what the firm has specialized in?
Sure. So Unmanned Aerospace is about 6 years old, and we've developed a brand new aircraft, which is a combination between a gyrocopter and a helicopter. But we're not using any of the complexities of a helicopter. We've got multiple patents on our technology. We are using a lot of our IP is based on the fact that we're using the centrifugal force of the rotor blades to switch the pitch, because a gyrocopter, the pitch is almost zero, so it cannot do any VTOL. So we have a rotor motor that we turn on only for VTOL and hover, and when we transition to forward flight, we kill the motor, and that also makes us 40% more efficient in fuel when we're in forward flight. We have we're fuel cell powered, so we're hydrogen.
Oh wow!
And we have booster batteries for the VTOL hover. But when we're in forward flight for over an hour, the fuel cells are powerful enough to recharge the booster batteries. So it's like a hybrid system. So the booster batteries are good for half an hour for VTOL hover, and then after an hour, it's another half an hour of VTOL hover. We have two functions, which is logistics, so we can carry 15 pounds. We have a rack system on the belly of the aircraft, so we're not limited by the size of the box, we're just limited by the pounds. And then, the Navy is financing us, and the idea, what they want us to do is just hover over a ship,
right,
drop the box, and move on. So we have a range of 140 nautical miles. It's just a completely different aircraft that is very scalable up to a full-scale aircraft. So in fact, in our pipeline, the next one we're going to be carrying about 130 pounds, and the next one we'll be carrying about 350 pounds.
Interesting. So for that kind of unique, bespoke engineering, was there a specific kind of problem or specific use case that this design kind of was inspired by or happened around, or kind of what's the genesis of such a innovative design like that?
So I've been inventing products for over 40 years. I'm not an engineer, I'm an industrial designer actually.
Okay.
I've done a lot of work for Fortune 500 companies in finding new market opportunities for them. So I started looking at the UAV sector and what's going on. So I went to a lot of trade shows, both industrial and military, and I discovered a hole in the marketplace, which is long duration, logistics type aircraft that can fly in turbulent winds. I saw the regular helicopters, I saw the lift plus cruise, I saw the multicopters, but each one of them had a limitation. So once I discovered the opportunity, you're going back 6 years now, and when I invent a new product, I usually project 10, 20 years down the road.
Right.
So I looked at, what aircraft can I use as a foundation for what I want to do, and the gyrocopter, which was invented in 1923,
right,
made a lot of sense to me. So in Europe, gyrocopters are very popular in general aviation. In the United States, they're considered dangerous. It's a misunderstood aircraft. Also in the US, it's more kits, whereas in Europe, it's a finished product.
Right.
And
is that because of danger and the gas and stuff?
No, on the takeoff.
Oh, sure, okay.
So we got rid of the takeoff because we can do VTOL. And like I said, we have maybe 10% of the complexity of a helicopter. A gyrocopter also has a teeter mechanism for the advancing and retreating blade, so we kept that. It's just an incredibly different aircraft.
Got it. So you sort of took this legacy, aviation design and brought it full circle into the 21st century, and for these really challenging.
I put on steroids, basically.
Exactly. That's so interesting.
And in fact,
everything new is old, right?
Right. And in fact, the full-scale gyrocopters are looking for ways to add VTOL to their, And if you look at a helicopter, which was invented by Sikorsky in the late 30s. By the way, Sikorsky licensed a lot of patents that the gyrocopter guy invented to use for his helicopter. But if you look at it from the time he invented it till today, there's been a lot of improvements, a lot of innovations, but the mechanism is still the same. It's still very complex. It still requires a lot of maintenance. We got rid of all of that.
Interesting. So, really fascinating stuff. Anything else that you would like to kind of underline for our viewers, or other, potential application areas that you're, envisioning moving forward?
Sure. So again, because the Navy is financing us, we're looking at that as our first opportunity. However, we can do offshore oil rigs inspections, anything that requires long distance, and when you get there to just hover and inspect and check. With 140 nautical miles, I mean, that's a huge range. So we're looking at that. We're looking at inspections of railway, high tension wires, pipelines, blood delivery, organ delivery. So all these deliveries today are usually 10, 15, 20 miles, but if you need to go 60 miles, 80 miles, 100 miles. This is the kind of stuff we can do.
Wow, you guys have that range.
Yeah. We definitely have that range. And the fact that we're hydrogen powered makes it even more efficient. People have a misconception about hydrogen. They think of the Hindenburg, which is really a misconception, because if you shoot a bullet through a hydrogen tank, nothing will happen. The gas will escape. If you shoot a bullet through a gas tank of a car, good luck to you. And the same thing with an electric car. So that's another big misconception about hydrogen.
Interesting. Yeah, and hydrogen, that's the fuel cell power is what gets you that range.
Exactly. So we are going to offer a second version where we're using a gas engine. We're using a JP5 fuel.
Or like a hybrid, or?
No. We're going to have either a gas engine but the gas engine drives a generator, so everything stays electric,
Interesting. Yeah, and sustainable and...
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
So fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.